Hi everyone. My name is Emmanuel. Um, you're all welcome to this sprint planning call. So, welcome Darius and welcome Daniel. So, you're welcome to this sprint planning call. So, I will quickly run you guys through our wiki page. So let me quickly share my screen. Yeah. Mic check. Can everyone see my screen? Seems to be.
Yes, although it's showing the infinite screens effect.
Oh wow. Seems like we have a network issue here.
I think you just have to go to the next page. Then it will be cleared.
Okay. Is everything okay now?
Yes.
Good. So I'll be the sprint
check.
lead in this. Okay. Okay. Check.
Do you mind presenting to everyone, like on your screen?
Yeah, I thought I clicked on that. Um. Let me just stop. Mic check.
Check.
Can we all see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, you can see the screen.
All right. So in this sprint, the team lead will be Daniel Kaiwa, and I'll be the sprint lead. And we have four developers. We initially had five, but we rolled off, so it's mainly just the four of us. So the sprint goals would be to implement most of the feedback we received from the previous sprint. So the first goal here was actually inspired by those feedback to improve the user experience and user interface. Then the second goal says to add multiple CIL concepts to user implementation dictionary. So we started this in the previous sprint, but we were not able to complete it. So we rolling it over to this sprint. So I have created a few tickets. So the first ticket here says fixtures. These fixtures ticket will create to fix all the necessary feedback, all the bugs here and there that we needed to fix. And then the second one says as a user should be able to see all public dictionaries. So all is also based on the feedback we received that the public dictionary should be in its separate page. You know, when the user logs into the page, and there should be like a link or a radio button that toggles between the user dictionary and the public dictionary. So we've decided to make it like a different page entirely. Then we'll add the link below the list of the private dictionaries. So then we have another one. As a user, I should be able to add multiple concepts to my implementation dictionary. So this was also started in the previous sprint, and we hope to complete it in this sprint. So what this basically does is, as a user, if you click on to whatever dictionary you want to, whatever source you want to add from, then it takes you to the source and you see all the concepts there. Then you can then click on an add button you click on that add button, the dictionary will be added to your own, the concept will be added to your own dictionary immediately, and then you get this toast message that, okay, your dictionary has been added, a concept has been added to your dictionary. Then we also thought about moving the search bar to the nav bar, because currently in the app we have a side nav and then we have the nav bar. The nav bar is not doing much at the moment, so we want to move the, we want to have a general search bar on the nav bar that enables the user to search through all the dictionaries, available, all the public dictionaries. Then you also want to put the necessary links on that navbar. Like we need to have a link where a user can easily click on dictionaries, and then it will show all the public dictionaries at once. And then also we can click on sources and view sources if the user wants to. Then we have the last one, to redesign the user dashboard to follow the provided mockup. So this is also this was inspired by the feedback we received. So we'll be redesigning the user dashboard to make it more usable and less confusing. So right now I think I'll stop sharing my screen from you guys. So any question or contribution? If there's anything that is not clear, let me quickly send the link to the wiki. I'll drop it right here so that everyone can have access to it. Mic check.
Check.
Okay.
All is well with me.
All is also well with me. Though on the previous call, Darius wanted to have a discussion about prioritization of tasks. So maybe at the moment we could hear from Darius.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking through and trying to think. So I wonder if there's a way that we can focus more on getting to the MVP itself, which is really the ability to, having created your own dictionary, create some concepts in it, as well as adding concepts from another source. And then, well, and that's, so that's the MVP.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm wondering, and so I'm wondering how do we get to prioritizing that? And I see that some of that is covered here.
Okay. If you look at the okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because you've reviewed everything more recently.
Mic check. I didn't get that.
You go ahead.
Mic check.
Check.
Seems to be working. I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, I was saying you can go ahead, or what I was saying is that can we prioritize getting the pure, true MVP done, which is, right, the ability to, you see your dictionaries, you create your own dictionary, you, within that dictionary, you add existing concepts or create new concepts.
Yeah. We'll make those ones the top priorities in this sprint, because if you check the board, you see there are actually 2 tickets that would handle that. So we have these user, as a user should be able to add multiple concepts to my implementation. And then from the previous sprint, there's also a ticket that will be rolled over to this sprint that takes care of creating concepts. So to create a concept, we've actually implemented that, but then we've not fully implemented it in the sense that we've not and then to create sets of concepts. So that would also be completed in this sprint. Mic check.
Your audio broke
Check.
up a little bit for me there.
Okay. So I said on a task to create concepts initially from the previous sprint. So we'll finish that task. Right now it's a regular concept, but we cannot create a concept with questions and answers in it. We are not able to create sets of concepts like a set. So we'll also include that in this sprint to be rolled up. And then you will also like to complete the functionality that allows the user to add concepts from from various sources to their dictionary. So the other UI tickets are just to improve usability while we are working on functionalities, because some of these tasks cannot be done simultaneously, because some depends on the other. So while one person is working on the main functionality, and that developer could be working on enhancing the user experience as well. Mic check.
Check. Emma,
Okay.
we had everything. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so I guess maybe then just a couple of things that I would want to prioritize. So one of them actually would be going back to the login screen. Right. So right now, I mean, you still have to paste in an API token to log in, right? And we need to switch to logging in via like a username and password before real users can use this. And someone, I forget who, Hadija or Shakira maybe, was doing research on how to do that.
Hadija. Yeah, she was working on that research, but we're going to sync. She's been unable to be on the call because she's sick at the moment, but we shall sync and see how far she went with the feedback, with the research. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get that converted into a plan of action. I mean, if more research needs to be done, then that's okay. Then that would be the plan. But otherwise, so that's something we should prioritize. And then the other one, which you might have mentioned, is a dictionary should be able to have multiple sources that it prefers.
Okay. All right.
Mic check, Darius.
Check.
So for the priorities, if we finish carrying out the research on the login and also implementing all the feedback that has been given, also the tickets for this sprint, will that be like done for the MVP? Because it just seems like after this sprint we might be done implementing, like for the most part, what the user has to do in the MVP. So could you like give us information on, will we like now move to the MVP plus? Is it MVP plus? Something like that? Like the next level of MVP, or we shall just refine the MVP afterwards? If that makes sense. Does
Yeah,
it make
well,
sense? Okay.
it does make sense. So there are definitely some more. I mean, there's more things in the MVP plus, but there, I mean, there's also things like. So there are more screens involved, but the other thing is really going to be then starting to get some testing from people. And because I imagine there's going to be a lot of bugs and or minor usability complaints as soon as some real users start to try this out.
Right. Okay, we'll reach out. We'll let you know our progress with the signing in with username and password feature, and then check to see if users should be able to preferred sources while creating a dictionary. We'll see the possibility of that for now, and we'll let you know as we move forward. I feel maybe to tweak a little some things from the back end.
Mic check, Emma. Could you repeat your last statement about the username and password? I didn't get it.
Add source to the server side to enable a password. We'll
Sorry,
look into it.
you were breaking again.
Okay.
I couldn't hear anything.
Wow.
I think he said we shall have to add some code to the some code to the back end in order to allow us do the login, where we shall have a username and a password. Right, Emma?
Yeah.
But then the thing is, how can we ensure that we are doing that the right way so that we don't affect the traditional OCL? I think those were one of the things that we were debating about by the time we had that as the main issue.
Okay. We'll look it up. I'll add the tickets to that effect to the board, and the second one, dictionary should have multiple preferred sources, also will be looked into. Do you have more feedback or questions, Darius?
I think that's mainly it.
All right. Any other question?
Sorry, one thing is, so there are so can you guys, let's see. Sorry, there are screens for creating concepts now, correct?
Yes, there is.
Of different types.
Yeah, there are.
And I think we need to give some more specific feedback on those. So maybe if you guys can send a link, just another link saying, hey, by the way, here's the link to the here's where people can do QA.
Okay.
And give them sort of instructions on how to log in, because it's actually not obvious.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
And I'd say especially, you might ask, particularly we've recently added the ability to create concepts, but so does that work right?
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll do that right after this call. Just for users to test the functionality and then give us feedback, right? Oh, mic check.
Check.
Okay, good. So,
Okay, one more thing that almost skipped my mind. Darius.
Yes.
So from the debate we had about pagination from last week, where we had we had come up with this, where you had suggested us adding some code to the back end to enable us only retrieve OpenMRS dictionaries. So a follow up on that, I did some research on the back end, and I found out that there was a way of actually fetching all dictionaries from the database. Okay, they are called collections in the traditional Austria, like fetching all collections, and then when you go to the front end, we only filter in OpenMRS dictionaries, and then we could probably do pagination from the front end, like paginating from state. Instead of calling the back end, we can do everything within the application.
So I'm sure that you could do everything within the application, and you could. However, why would we? So I think the right thing to do is to make the backend support this function of filtering to a certain type of dictionary, a certain type of collection. It would be useful. It would simplify the front end code.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, if we don't have sort of the capability, I guess, on the team to do that, to do whatever Python or Django development is required, then we can talk about an alternative. But I would think it's probably straightforward in terms of just like adding one query parameter, adding support for like one query parameter to an existing controller.
It's possible. We can do that as a team. I'm quite sure. Okay. That was all. Thank you.
okay. Daniel, do you have anything to say?
Not for now.
All right. So I guess we'll call it a call, and I will create some more tickets to handle the login and the multiple preferred sources case, and I'll also send the message to the thread. I'll add the comment there to notify users that we've actually created functionality of creating a new concept. I think we've come to the end of this sprint planning. Thank you everyone for coming.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone.
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, can go off now.